You're watching this right now for a reason. Not because the algorithm decided to show it to you. Not because you were scrolling and stumbled across it. You're here because something inside you has been waiting for this exact message. Something that's been stirring beneath the surface of your everyday awareness, whispering that there's more to your story than what you've been telling yourself. See, there's a moment that comes for everyone. A moment when the noise finally quiets down and you can hear your own heartbeat again. When the dust settles from all the chaos you've been walking through, and suddenly you can see the path you've been on this whole time. That moment when everything stops feeling like it's happening to you and starts feeling like it's been happening for you. Most people miss this moment completely. They're so busy fighting what is, so consumed with asking, why me? Why now? Why this? That they never pause long enough to recognize what's actually been unfolding. They stay trapped in the story of their struggle instead of recognizing the story of their becoming. But you're different. You felt it, haven't you? That shift in the air around your life. The way certain situations that used to devastate you now feel like distant memories from someone else's experience. The way problems that once consumed your every waking thought now resolve themselves with a clarity that surprises even you. You've been in training without even knowing it. Every sleepless night when your mind wouldn't stop racing, every conversation that left you feeling misunderstood, every door that closed just when you thought you were finally getting somewhere, every moment when you felt completely alone in a crowded room, all of it was curriculum. The universe doesn't hand out random suffering. It doesn't scatter pain across your path for entertainment. Every single thing that has brought you to your knees, every experience that left you questioning everything you thought you knew about life, about love, about yourself, was precisely calibrated to build something inside you that couldn't be built any other way. Think about the person you were 3 years ago. Think about what used to trigger you, what used to keep you awake at night, what used to send you spiraling into anxiety or despair. Now think about how you handle those same situations today. Something fundamental has shifted, hasn't it? You didn't just get older. You didn't just accumulate more experience. You developed a different relationship with uncertainty itself. That relationship, that's what you were being prepared for. Not the specific outcomes you thought you wanted. Not the timeline you had mapped out in your mind. You were being prepared to hold space for the unknown without collapsing into fear. To trust the process even when you couldn't see the destination. To choose faith over control, growth over comfort, wisdom over being right. Every time you felt like giving up, but didn't. Every time you chose to stay open when closing off would have been easier. Every time you decided to believe in possibility when all the evidence suggested you should quit hoping. Those weren't moments of weakness or naivety. Those were moments of profound strength, moments when you were choosing to align with something bigger than your immediate circumstances. You've been learning a language that can't be taught in books or seminars, the language of resilience that doesn't announce itself, the language of trust that doesn't need proof, the language of peace that exists independent of external conditions. And now, finally, you're starting to speak it fluently. This is why certain people have started feeling different around you lately. Why some conversations that used to drain you now feel effortless. Why solutions appear in your life with timing that feels almost orchestrated. Why opportunities show up just when you need them, not necessarily when you want them. You're operating from a different frequency now, one that attracts alignment instead of resistance. The test was never about whether you were strong enough to avoid getting hurt. It was about whether you could get hurt and still choose love, whether you could face disappointment and still choose hope, whether you could experience betrayal and still choose trust, whether you could encounter failure and still choose to begin again. And you did. Again and again, you chose the harder path, the path that required you to stay soft in a world that rewarded hardness, the path that asked you to remain curious when cynicism would have been safer, the path that demanded you keep your heart open when everything in your experience suggested you should build walls. You passed the test the moment you stopped needing to understand why everything happened and started trusting that everything happened for your highest good. You passed it when you realized that your worth wasn't determined by how others treated you, but by how you treated yourself in response to how others treated you. You passed it when you discovered that peace wasn't the absence of problems, but the presence of an unshakable knowing that you could handle whatever came your way. This knowing, it changes everything. It changes how you move through the world, how you make decisions, how you respond to uncertainty, how you show up in relationships, how you pursue your dreams. You're no longer operating from a place of proving yourself worthy of good things. You're operating from a place of knowing you already are worthy, and now you're just allowing that worthiness to express itself through your choices. The people who haven't passed this test yet, they're still fighting reality, still arguing with circumstances, still trying to control outcomes through worry and manipulation and force. But you've discovered something they haven't yet. You've discovered that true power lies not in controlling what happens to you, but in consciously choosing who you become because of what happens to you. This is why you can sit in uncertainty now without anxiety consuming you, why you can face challenges without immediately catastrophizing about worst-case scenarios, why you can love people without needing them to love you back in exactly the way you want them to. You've learned that your stability comes from within, not from the cooperation of external circumstances. You've been baptized by fire and emerged with a clarity that can't be shaken, a confidence that doesn't need validation, a peace that doesn't require perfect conditions, a love that doesn't demand reciprocity, a trust that doesn't need guarantees. This is what you were always meant to discover about yourself. This is who you were always meant to become. The person you are now, the one watching this video, understanding these words not just intellectually, but feeling them resonate in your bones. This person was forged in the crucible of everything you thought was trying to break you, but it wasn't trying to break you. It was trying to break you open, to crack through the shell of who you thought you had to be and reveal who you actually are underneath all the conditioning, all the fear, all the stories you inherited about how life works and what you deserve. Now you understand why nothing could have been rushed, why every delay felt like a cosmic joke but was actually cosmic timing, why every person who walked away cleared space for someone who was meant to stay, why every opportunity that slipped through your fingers made room for something that actually aligned with who you were becoming, not who you used to be. You've stopped trying to go back and fix things that were meant to break. You've stopped trying to force conversations with people who've already given you their final answer through their silence. You've stopped trying to resurrect connections that completed their purpose the moment they ended. This isn't giving up. This is graduation. There's a particular kind of exhaustion that comes right before breakthrough, and you felt it. That bone, deep tiredness that sleep couldn't touch. The kind of weariness that made you wonder if you were doing life wrong, if everyone else had access to some manual you never received. But that exhaustion wasn't a sign you were failing. It was a sign you were carrying weight that was never yours to hold. The weight of other people's expectations, the weight of timelines that belong to someone else's journey, the weight of proving yourself worthy to people who were never qualified to judge your worth in the first place, the weight of trying to make sense of seasons that were only meant to be survived, not understood. When you finally set those weights down, not in defeat but in recognition that they were never yours to begin with, something extraordinary happened. You didn't become lighter because you lost something. You became lighter because you remembered what was always true. You were never meant to carry the world on your shoulders. You were meant to be held by it. This realization changes how you pray, how you hope, how you dream. You're no longer begging the universe to give you what you think you need. You're trusting it to give you what you're actually ready for. You're no longer trying to convince life to go according to your plan. You're allowing your plan to evolve according to life's deeper intelligence. The people around you have started noticing something different in your eyes, not the desperate hope that used to live there, constantly searching for signs that everything would work out, not the guarded fear that protected you from disappointment, something steadier, something that knows without needing proof, something that trusts without needing guarantees. You've developed what some call quiet confidence, but it's deeper than confidence. It's recognition. Recognition that you are not separate from the force that grows flowers from seeds and heals cuts without your conscious effort and beats your heart while you sleep. You are not fighting life. You are life, expressing itself as you, figuring itself out through your experiences. This is why rejection doesn't devastate you anymore, why uncertainty doesn't paralyze you, why other people's opinions don't define your reality. You've remembered that you are not a victim of circumstances. You are consciousness having a human experience, and that consciousness is inherently creative, inherently powerful, inherently worthy. The dreams you thought you lost, they haven't disappeared. They've been composting, breaking down into something richer, more authentic, more aligned with who you've become through all this growing. The love you thought you missed out on is preparing to meet you at your new level of wholeness, not your old level of need. The opportunities you thought passed you by were simply making space for ones that will actually fulfill you, instead of just flatter your ego. You've learned the difference between wanting something because it looks good and wanting something because it feels right, between pursuing goals because you think they'll make you happy and pursuing goals because they already make you come alive in the pursuing, between seeking validation from others and seeking alignment with yourself. This discernment, this ability to sense what truly belongs to you and what's just ego dressed up as ambition. This is one of the most valuable gifts your testing period gave you. You can feel the difference now between opportunities that will expand you and ones that will just exhaust you, between relationships that will nourish you and ones that will just familiar you, between choices that honor your growth and ones that just honor your fears. You're not the same person who started this journey. You're not even the same person who was struggling through the middle of it. You've been refined in ways that can't be reversed, expanded in ways that can't be contracted, awakened in ways that can't be put back to sleep. The old you couldn't have handled what's coming next. But this version of you, the one forged in uncertainty and tempered by trust, this version is more than ready. What's coming isn't just better circumstances. It's a completely different way of being in the world, a way that doesn't need perfect conditions to feel peaceful, a way that doesn't need constant reassurance to feel secure, a way that doesn't need everyone's approval to feel valuable, a way that knows, without question, that you belong here, that your story matters, that your presence makes a difference. The test is over, not because your life became perfect, but because you became complete. Not because all your questions were answered, but because you learned to dance with the mystery. Not because you stopped feeling pain, but because you stopped resisting it. Not because you figured everything out, but because you trusted the process that's figuring you out. You can feel it in your bones now, can't you? That sense of arrival, not to a destination, but to yourself. That recognition that everything you went through was preparing you for everything that's about to unfold. That knowing that the best parts of your story haven't been written yet, but the foundation for them has been laid in every moment you chose, growth over comfort, faith over fear, love over self-protection, protection. So here you are, not at the end, but at the beginning of something you couldn't have imagined when you were in the thick of it all. The person watching this right now, the one who recognizes themselves in these words, you are living proof that the human spirit doesn't just survive, it transforms. Every tear you cried in the darkness was watering seeds you couldn't see. Every night you stayed awake, wrestling with questions that had no easy answers, was strengthening muscles you didn't know you were building. Every time you chose to keep going when stopping would have been easier, You were casting a vote for the person you were becoming. You passed the test the moment you stopped asking why this was happening to you and started asking what this was teaching you. You passed it when you realized that your worthiness was never up for debate, only your awareness of it. You passed it when you understood that peace isn't something you achieve, but something you remember you already are. The universe has been conspiring for you all along, orchestrating every encounter, every setback, every breakthrough to deliver you to this moment of recognition. You are not broken. You were never broken. You were always becoming. And now, finally, you can see the masterpiece that was being created through all that chaos. This is your commencement, your graduation into a way of being that trusts the process, honors the journey, and knows without question that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Welcome to the other side of your becoming.